Thank you for joining me on this video course. My name is Oladipupo Clement, and I'll be taking you on a journey I've titled Your Money Map to Prosperity. If you're joining and watching this course right now and you're struggling in your finances, this is for you. If you are listening to this and you have bills to pay and your outflow is way more than your income, this is for you. If right now you are out of job and you don't have a clue on where your next meal will come from, how you're going to provide for your family, this is for you. And guess what? If you're making money, but you really also want to make more money, right? This is also for you. You are afraid that if you lose your job, something may go wrong. This is for you. Now, when it comes to this subject of creating wealth, this is where I have played for many, many years. Anyone who has known me for upward of 20 years can testify that this is one thing that has been consistent with me for the most part. It's actually not just a job. It's not just a job. It's a calling. It's an assignment. I am desperately committed. I'm totally committed to this, and this is one thing I'm going to do the rest of my life. And it's important I give you this background so that whatever it is I'm going to tell you, I have also lived by them. I've practiced them. I'm not just an instructor or a coach. I've also lived by it. I know the color and taste of poverty. I know what it means to be in penury. I know the meaning of hardship. And, the data speaks for itself. Africa, Nigeria being at the center of that, is the poverty capital of the world. And so there are more poor people around. And there's so much hardship, so much struggles here and there. And you know one thing I found out? I found out that when you change, things change. When you become a superior version of yourself, everything else aligns. You see, poverty really doesn't kill people. Lack of money doesn't really kill people. You know what kills people? It is the emotion of anxiety, the emotions of fear. That's actually what kills people. The emotion of sadness. I love what a great mentor of mine said. He said, it is not because things are bad that you are sad. It's actually because you are sad that things are bad. Guess what? If you take hold of your emotions, if you take hold and you work on yourself and become a superior version of yourself, then I can almost assure you, wealth is just around the corner. In fact, it's closer than you think. It's closer than you can imagine. Now, there are a few things I need to give to you here to set the tone for this course. And that is, every time you set a target of what you want to achieve, it's not really about what you do. It's more about who you become. One critical question you need to ask yourself and you need to write down right now is, who must I become to achieve this level of wealth? So if you want to be $10 million richer, if you want to be $1 billion richer, ask yourself, who must I become to achieve that feat? Because at the end of the day, it boils down to you. If it must be, it's up to you. And this is the challenge a lot of people have. We blame everybody else but ourselves. We blame the economy but not ourselves. And this is the main challenge. And so listen to this carefully. You got to work and rework this. I know what I'm talking to you about. Now, there's a law called the law of attraction. That law states that everything that happens around you is a reflection of what is happening inside of you. I also believe a lot in the power of your subconscious mind. And I know the role that plays in poverty or wealth. Your subconscious mind can serve you and move you to prosperity. It can also serve you and keep you in poverty. And it all depends on you. If you understand the things I'm going to share in this video, I almost can guarantee you'll be out anytime soon. Right. Now, what are the two key things that will shape you and make you become a superior version of yourself? One is your association. Now, you didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose where you were born. You didn't choose your siblings. That was not a power that the Creator gave to any of us. You see, the power that the Creator gave to each and every one of us is to choose our friends. And you have to choose that wisely. it was John Mason who said many years ago that you are the same 5 years from now, except for two things: the books you read and the company you keep. A lot of us fraternize with people who encourage and endorse, who embrace pity party. We fraternize with people who say, hey, yeah, oh my goodness, and then they show pity, they show sympathy, but can't really help you. And they are going nowhere. They will be with you, but they are not going to be able to help you. Listen to this carefully. You need to make a deliberate effort today to audit your relationships. Now, I'm not saying that these people are not valuable. I'm not saying that they are unimportant, right? I'm just simply saying that they do not matter as far as who you need to become is concerned. So you need to reselect, right? You need to reselect a new set of relationships for the destination that you have set for yourself. The second thing you need to do to become a superior version of yourself is the information you consume. Listen to me carefully. One of my greatest assets today is my library. I don't joke with my books. I don't joke with my library. I don't joke with research. As of this moment, I've been awake since 2 a.m. working and reading, searching, researching, and studying to become. See, if you know better, you do better. This is the way it works, right? What you knew yesterday has expired. You need new insight. You need fresh insights, all right, to move and, to move to the next phase of your life. And so this is very, very important. Who you become matters a great deal. And that's somewhat what this is about. And I'm going to give you some tips that will help you achieving, prosperity in no distant future. I'll be back shortly. So welcome back. Now, you see, each and every one of us are energy beings. We transmit and emit energy. And the kind of energy you emit or transmit is what determines what you attract or repel. And this is where I often say it. If you are not pleased with what you are attracting, check what energy you are transmitting. This is so important. So important. A lot of us transmit negative energies. And because energy cannot be seen, but we can see its effects, all right? That's exactly the reason why you have to pay serious attention to the energy you are transmitting. I tell you a story. So several years ago, I had a mentee of mine who came to see me for guidance and was having a lot of struggles. It was in Atlanta, and I will never forget. I started to x-ray and audit the energy she was transmitting. And she confirmed to me that of a truth, most successful people seem to insulate themselves against negative energies. And by sharing a story, an experience she had with another mentor of hers, how that one time she reached out to this mentor of hers and she was ranting and complaining, and then the mentor hung up on her. But because she thought it was just a network issue, she redialed again. And this second time, she went on ranting, and then it became clear that it was not a network issue, but this time around, the mentor, hung up on her deliberately. And then she said, "Sir, you hung up on me." She said, "Yes." The mentor said to her, "Yes, I hung up on you because I have made a deliberate effort to insulate myself against negativity." You see, there's so much negativity to go around. There's so much negative energy to go around. Not so much of positive energy is available. There's short supply of positive energy. Now you have a responsibility, right? If you want to really attract good to you, you have to pay attention to the kind of energy you are transmitting. This is so important. Now, I'm going to start to take you on the money map for attracting a lot of cash. But before I do that, let me quickly give you the simple secret I learned many years ago. You see, if you want to ever be rich, you want to ever be wealthy, you must have a system. You must put in place a structure that ensures that people pay you more than you are paying others. If you don't have that structure in place, I guarantee you, you will never achieve it. So in other words, your outflow must be far less or lesser than your income. Otherwise, if your income is less than your expenditure, then your upkeep will be your downfall. And this is why this is so important. So you must have products and services. You must have a system. You must have an handiwork. You must have a skill that is fetching you revenue regularly, much more than you have to pay others. If you don't balance this out, if you don't settle this before we get into all these other money maps, then I guarantee you prosperity will be far from you. And that's certainly not your expectation on this course. So let's take them one after the other. The first money map that you require is practice gratitude. You heard me clearly. Practice gratitude. Listen to me carefully. Nothing reconditions the state of your heart. Nothing reconditions your energy bank like gratitude. Listen to me carefully. Your gratitude bank must be intentionally built, must be intentionally furnished. This is so critical. One of the ways by which you can, build up your gratitude bank and practice gratitude regularly is every day you wake up, you write down 5 things you are grateful for. Listen to me carefully. I know this by experience, and I know this from research. I know this from my interaction with people. The grateful people are not necessarily people without problems. Grateful people are not necessarily people without issues. Grateful people are just people who have chosen to focus on what is working in their lives. And if you look a little closer, some things are working in your life. If you can take stock, there's something that's working in your life. You see, because energy is critical in what you attract or what you repel, you have to be deliberate at practicing gratitude, because it also helps to elevate your positive energy. All right, and this is very critical. Nothing drains your positive energy like ingratitude, complaints, murmuring. It has a way it soils the energy in the room. It has a way it drains your own energy. It saps your own energy. And so this is very, very important. Now, I know this, so have a gratitude journal where you document and outline the things you're grateful for. You can be grateful for your health. You can be grateful for your life. You can be grateful that you are alive and you have sanity of mind. You can be grateful that you have a car. You can be grateful that you have legs. Someone said, I was complaining that I did not have shoe until I saw a man who had shoe but had no leg. What is the value of shoe compared to the value of leg? Listen to me carefully. There's something that is working in your life. No matter how insignificant it may appear in the eyes of anybody else, you note it and be grateful for it. You see, whatever you appreciate, appreciates in value. And this is how successful people, wealthy people behave. If you interact with rich people, you will also know that the rich also cry. But we don't concentrate on the things that are not working yet. Practice gratitude. This is so important. If you forget anything in this course, don't forget this. Make this a commitment. Make it consciously practice it by documenting and having a gratitude journal. One thing that I can tell you will begin to happen is that you unconsciously begin to program your subconscious mind to recognize and begin to build and begin to give you insight into what you can do to move you out of wherever that's undesirable right now. The second thing that you must do, that is a money map that you must pay attention to, is think abundance. You heard me correctly also. Think abundance. You see how people don't pay attention to this, the quality of thoughts that preoccupies their mind, and they wonder why money is not flowing to them. They wonder why they are not prosperous. Listen to me carefully. You can't attract abundance with scarcity mentality. You cannot attract abundance with scarcity mentality. I told you earlier about the law of attraction. That law states that everything that happens around you is a reflection of what is going on inside of you. So you are invariably, the happenings around you is a mirror of what is happening inside you. If we don't know what is happening inside you, we can tell by what is happening around you. And this is very, very important. So you have to take full responsibility to ensure that what preoccupies your mind is positive, is abundance. So if prosperity is your end game, cut out pictures of people who have accomplished what you want to accomplish and put the figure that you know is already within their reach, and then see it. That's the power of vision board. And you don't want to miss out on this. This is so critical. Think abundance. Think abundance. What thought preoccupies your mind? Whether you are conscious of it, there's a framework I use to help me accomplish feats I've never accomplished before. And I call that framework TEAR, called TEAR, TEAR. Now, T represents thoughts, E represents emotion, A represents action, R represents results. You see, the way it works is such that your thoughts, whatever thought preoccupies your mind, whatever thought dominates your mind, right, will precipitate into an emotion. That emotion is what we call feeling, right? It's what fuels your action. And that action is what fuels and determines your result. So this is the way it works. When you sit back and think, right, you'll see whatever result, whatever outcome you want in your life, find out, make sure that it's consistent with the thought that preoccupies your mind. So don't wait for what you're going to do first. Let the thought of what you want to accomplish preoccupy your mind. Let that be the dreams in your heart. Let that be what you meditate, you ponder upon. When you do that long enough, it will precipitate into an emotion. That emotion is the fuel for every action. All right? It creates a sense of urgency. There will be a surge. It's just like when you press the accelerator in a car. All right? It pumps fuel, and that's what ensures the car accelerates. So if you want to accelerate in your finances, you want to make sure that what preoccupies your mind is the thought of abundance. You see, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. In fact, as a man thinks in his heart, so he becomes. So make sure that the thought of abundance is what dominates your mind. And the way to force yourself action plan is cut out pictures of anything that looks like what you want to accomplish. Because you see, the reason this is so important is mainly because we think in pictures. As human beings, when the name of a person is mentioned, what comes to your mind is not the spelling of their name, it's the image of that person. When the name of a car is mentioned, what comes to your mind is a picture of that. And so the way your mind will process and make decisions faster is by cutting out pictures. You put it where you see it more regularly. You can make it a wallpaper on your phone. You can make it a wallpaper on your devices, on your laptop, on your gadgets and all of that. And then you can place it beside your bed. You can put it on your mirror. You can put it on the fridge. Wherever you frequent most regularly, those are the places where you put these pictures. It has a way it burns into your heart, and it also produces ideas and concepts. You see, let me tell you this. This is what I found. And I mean no disrespect. This is what I found. There are many opportunities around you, but you will never see them. There's what is called the law of recognition. That law states that everything you need is already around you, only awaiting your recognition. You see, when you allow the thought of abundance to preoccupy your mind, what begins to happen readily is that you begin to recognize places, platform, people, products, opportunities that will facilitate the realization of your goals, that will facilitate the realization of your dreams. But you will not readily recognize them. You will only see everything as problems, right? Because you have not been preoccupied. Now, let me tell you this. Everybody thinks. It's just that one is constructive, the other one is destructive. If it's not moving you close to your goal, if it's not moving you toward your dream, then it's not helping you. You have to shut it down. And you have to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts. And this is why your association and information is so critical. Watching, documentaries or reading biographies will paint pictures in your mind, apart from just having a vision board. This is so important. Number 3, the next money map is sell what people can't do without. Sell what people can't do without. I have come to discover this. When you sell what people can't do without, you ultimately make money. Many years ago, I discovered that money is a means of exchange. Money is a reward for solving problems. Money is a reward for adding value to people's lives. Money is a reward, for meeting needs in people's lives. And the more of that and the more people you are doing that to, the more money flows to you. You want to make a lot of money, you have to sell. You have to sell. I know you may not be a salesperson, but listen, you may not be a salesperson professionally, but the language of the market is a selfish language. And it's a market that is only concerned about what they want. It's not a market that is concerned about what you want. So if you want to get people's money, you want more money to flow to you, you have to give them what they want. You see, you don't catch a fish on your own terms. You catch a fish on its terms. You bait it with what the fish loves, not what you love. It's exactly the same thing you must learn to do. So if you're a business owner, or you are an entrepreneur, or you are even an employee, you must recognize this. You become attractive. You become the go-to person when every now and again, you're always putting out what people are looking for, what is addressing problems in people's lives. Listen to me carefully. There are 7 things that your product or service must address in the market. Number 1 is it must address people's frustration. Number 2, it must address their irritations. It must address their fears. It must address their pain points. It must address their needs. It must address their wants. And it must, of course, address their aspirations. If you don't do these things, money will be far from you. So sell what people can't do without. Several years ago, I discovered that there is no industry that can operate in isolation of real estate. Then I realized that real estate is an essential commodity. Everybody needs, even if you're a tech person and you mostly operate things in the cloud, right? The cloud, even though it's called cloud, there are data centers. It's warehoused on a piece of real estate. All right. When there was lockdown in 2019, 2020, you could tell that majority of people spend much of their time in their respective homes. It tells you the value of real estate. Nobody was staying in their offices, but they were staying at home. That's real estate. All right. And there were still essential services that still needed to commute and still needed to render services, whether it's healthcare, whether it is tech, whether it's agriculture, a piece of real estate. So I decided to play in the real estate. That doesn't mean you should play in the real estate, but find out what people can't really do without. And let me quickly give you a hint. There are 3 major markets that is essential. It's called the starving crowd. These 3 markets, if you sell anything in this market, right, you will always be in business and money will constantly flow to you. Number 1 is the wealth market. In the wealth market, you're either helping people save money or make money. You're helping people to grow wealth and all of those things. So whether you are in the stock market, or you're in the real estate business or investment, or you're in the crypto space, even though I don't believe in crypto, I don't play in the crypto space, but anything that helps people to make money, save money, prevent loss of money, that is critical. That is a starving market. There is business for you and there's opportunity for you to make money. So if you're already playing there, congratulations. The second market is health market. The health market is everything that has to do with total well-being of human beings. And everybody wants to be well. Everybody wants to be fine. So if you are running a pharmaceutical store, or you run a diagnostic center, or you are a wellness coach, or you are a gym instructor, or you own a gym, anything that empowers and enhances is in the health market, and there's a lot of money to be made. It's not something people can do without, right? If you run a medical lab, or you run or you run a hospital, or you work in the hospital, you are playing the health market, right? If you even sell food you're also in the health market in a way, and people can't really do without it. So this is critical. The third market is the relationship market. Let me tell you this. I found out that however wealthy you may become in life, one of the deepest and greatest need in mankind is the need for acceptance, the need for love. This is why sex sells. This is why all these other things sells. This is why entertainment sells, right? The need for companionship that's why it sells. So anything that facilitates all of that is playing in the market. So focus on these three markets if you want to play in any, all right? And each of these markets has sub-markets. I can't go on. That's not the purpose of this particular lecture. We understand this. Selling what people can't do without is one way. It's one money map that will help you, in your journey to prosperity. Number 4 is harness and develop scarce skills. Harness and develop scarce skills. Listen to me carefully. One of the key things I've realized, and this is a global phenomenon, people will pay any amount, to get the best hand to solve complex problems for them. So if you go online right now and you Google scarce skills, or you Google soft skills, or you Google future skills, you will find out what area or what skill you need to develop, right? The higher the level of skill you develop, the quicker you're able to solve problems for people and the more they pay you. Now, I remembered years ago, I was at a conference when the facilitator made a statement, and he said, if we all arrive, you're traveling to another country and you're going by flight, and the pilot makes a routine announcement, but now ends up the routine announcement to say, guys, this is actually my first time of flying a plane, but don't worry, I just came out from an anointing service, or I just went to see an Ifa priest or something. Would you make that journey? Would you go on that journey? Why would you sit in a plane? The only reason is because the pilot possesses a skill. So develop and harness scarce skills. The more skillful you get, the more money you make. That takes me to the next money map. Number 5 is remain valuable and put the value on display. This is more important than just being valuable. There are lots of people who are very skillful, who are valuable, but their value is not on display. And as a result, they miss out on a lot of things. Listen to me carefully. The perception people have of you goes a long way in determining whether they patronize you, whether they do business with you, whether they come to you to solve their problems. So if people don't know you, then money will be far from you. So put your value on display. This is so critical. I've come to realize that perception is stronger than reality. There are less intelligent people than yourself, but people know them for doing that same thing. And that's why when it's time for nominations in different governments, in different dispensations, you'll see they nominate certain people that are known. If you remain unknown, then forget about money. So you want to be visible. You want to be visible. You want to be known by the people that can pay you. This is so important. So it's not enough for you to be skillful, but you need to put your value on display. And one way by which you can make this happen is by creating podcasts. You can create content. And if you're not a talker, you can do voice. And then you can overlay it with animations and all of that. Make sure there's something out there. Have a social media account where you're also putting out content. Because the people who are following you are the ones that will give you referrals. They are the ones that will give recommendations. So this is so critical. Attention today is currency. Anything that brings attention to your business, that brings attention to your value, is critical. It's an investment worth making. So put your value on display. That takes me to number 6. Build profitable network. Listen to me carefully. It is not a cliche. It's not just a quotable quote. Your network truly determines your net worth. Who you know plus what you know is what determines how far you go. So deliberately, intentionally build profitable networks. Join associations. There are courses, there are programs, there are, schools you subscribe to. There are associations you subscribe to. There are clubs, around the world that you subscribe to. That the main benefit is the network, the quality of network. All right, that you subscribe to. That's exactly the thing. There are programs that I've attended, paid thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. That one thing I took away from those platforms was mainly the network. And I am 2 people away from the major movers and shakers. I'm 1 person away from major movers and shakers in my country and around the world. By reason of this understanding, I move with some kind of people that because of that, I need to get certain things done. I know who to call. I know this is so important, because if you are not poor because you don't have money, you are actually poor if you also lack network. All right, so this is very, very important. That takes us to number 7. In order for you to tap into profitable networks, one of the things you must position yourself for, or position yourself as, is as a giver. Listen to me, and this is so important, and I've seen this play out again and again. If you need a relationship in your circle, you need a relationship, learn to give. Giving opens doors. All right, giving opens doors. Understanding palace protocol gives you a seat. Are you following me? This is so important. Giving opens doors. Most of the people you are trying to network with, most of the people you are busy, one way by which you can get attention is by recognizing their days of joy, their days of celebration. You see, when people's emotions are down or high, that's when to score points. When people have just lost a loved one, it's an opportunity to score points. It's a way to show presence. And that's when you make yourself noticeable in such network. When people are celebrating, marking their birthday, or housewarming, or something of joy, make sure you make a mark. Show your presence. That's how to position yourself. This is very, very important during their birthdays. Please, this is very important. In building profitable network, don't joke with this. So giving opens doors. Understanding palace protocol, right? Palace protocol is essentially like you send a message, when is a good time to call? Are you available for call? When will you be available for call? That's understanding palace protocol, right? What's the best way to reach you? That's understanding palace protocol. If the best way to reach the person is through his or her assistant, you follow that protocol. That's understanding palace protocol. It gives you a seat. And listen to me carefully. Honor to that person or those people, right, is what keeps you there permanently. There are people that once they see my missed call, they call me back. You know why? I follow the same rule. And I'm talking of people in high places. You see, there are 4 kinds of people. Time won't permit me to go there, but there are 4 kinds of people you need in your corner, or that you find in your corner. Don't joke with the first 3 I'm going to talk about. There are those with power, but they don't have interest in you. You want those people to notice you, because when they show interest in you, they have power to change your life. There are those without power, but they have interest in you. More often than not, they're usually your members of family, right? Especially if you come from, not too great a family in terms of finances or resources or connections, right? But they have interest in you, but they don't have power to change your life. Now, there are other people who don't have power and they don't have interest in you. In fact, they don't care whether you exist. They don't care whether anything goes wrong with you. Those are not people to worry about. But you see, there's the 4th category of people. Those are people who have power, and they have power to change your life, and they also have interest in you. But how do you migrate people who have power but don't have interest in you? You keep them satisfied. So pay attention to this critically. So pay attention to this. So you need profitable network, right? I remembered, the story I heard about a gentleman who shared the same platform with, the former chairman of Punch newspapers in Nigeria, West Africa. And this gentleman said, after talking to the man gave him a card that they could talk later on. And then he told the man, sir, I noticed that your online presence isn't so good. My organization will be willing to make it better. He said the man gave him another complimentary card. Meaning what? If you have solution that they need, if you have answer to their questions, if you have solution to their problems, you will get a different contact. This is so important. You see, a lot of us, we want to build profitable network by talking about our problems. No, that's not the way it works. When you go, you must have done your research, done your findings, and find out what is the gap. Sometimes people are looking for profitable network to sell to. That's an error. That's an error. You build profitable network by looking out for what is the gaps in their life. What gaps exist in their life that you can bridge? What problem exists in their life that you can resolve? That is how you make yourself valuable. That's how you build profitable network. So don't go with selfish motive. Go with selfless intentions, with intention to serve, with intention to add value, such that the person will be glad they met you. This is so important. You want to build profitable network, look out for people who are going the same direction as you. Find out where they unwind. Find out where they relax. And then those are places you should constantly be yourself. Because let me tell you this, why do you think people fly business class? Why do you think people fly first class? A simple reason. We know where we meet. And this is so important. So if you can pay this much to move to this, to be in this first class cabin or first business class cabin, right? It means you carry some measure of value yourself. And it's easier to interact with people when you find yourself there. So the same thing, there are clubs, there are associations where there are annual subscription. Pay this money to be there. This is so important. And if you're not yet there, begin to work your way down there. You just need a call. You see, there's what we call the 3 to 6 degrees of separation. You are 3 to 6 people away from your next major breakthrough. This is why profitable network is so important. Some of the major breakthroughs in my life has been a result of profitable network, and it was not built overnight. It was built over time. Let me quickly give you a secret. Every human being you meet on planet Earth has emotional bank account. And what a lot of us do is that we make withdrawals from the very first day. How do you make withdrawal from people's emotional bank account? By insulting them, by not being courteous in the way and manner you deal with them, or by not fulfilling promises. If you do business with them or you do anything, interact with them, make sure you treat them well. You sow into that bank account. Every time you also give to those people, you have made a deposit. Now that also does not call for immediate withdrawal. Sometimes you keep giving for the time when it is the opportune time to make withdrawal. And guess what? There's a level to which you give to people that they feel indebted to you, and they'll be looking for the opportunity to reciprocate. Your job, if you must build a profitable network, is to keep giving and keep sowing until opportune time. I hope that helps. Number 7, play to your strength. Listen to me carefully. Most successful people you know anywhere in the world also have weaknesses, but they play to their strengths. They play to their strength. They focus on what is working for them, right? And nobody recognizes their weaknesses. You see, the effort that most of us make is in the area of our weaknesses, and that's why we don't seem to attract as much as we should. Play to your strength, and you'll be amazed at what will flow to you. You'll be amazed. I tell you, you'll be amazed. Play to your strength. Playing to your strength will mean a lot of things to different categories of people. 80% of the money that you make comes from 20% of the activities you're involved in. 80% of your revenue comes from probably 20% of your clients. Play to your strength. What is already working in your life? What's already working in your career? What have you tested that did not work? There's always something to start doing. There's always something to stop doing, and there's always something to continue to do. Find out what is working and play to what is working. Resource what is working. That's what we mean by playing to your strengths also. All right? So this is so critical. So if you are a business owner here, play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. I can go on and tell you stories, but time won't permit me to share some experiences and things that I've made and I've adjusted in my own personal life just because of this. I used to hear people say, oh, they are serial entrepreneurs. While there's nothing wrong with that, I figured that doesn't work for me, right? I'm not a serial entrepreneur. I'd rather be a serial investor, right? And I focus on my area, right? So find out what is working for you in terms of your business or career. Find out the area where you produce your greatest results. What is producing revenue for you? If you do the analysis, you'll be amazed. I recall that when our business started out years ago, over 11 years ago now, we were into so many things until one day I took time off to reflect on the business. Because you see, as an entrepreneur, you have to step out of your business from time to time to reflect on the business, to view the business from the perspective of an outsider. And guess what? I asked myself the very important question, why did we start this business? Number two, which of these businesses, or these of products or businesses was even giving us our highest results? And then I asked myself, which of this business or product was even central to why we started the business? The purpose. Then you'll be surprised, you'll be amazed. It came down to just 3 things, and we're doing like 9 of 10 different things. Listen to me. We streamlined and refocused our energy on what was already giving us our highest result, and that was central to our purpose. And boom, there was phenomenal growth in the coming months. Phenomenal, geometric, and exponential growth in our business just by refocusing on what was producing. You can do the same. Go take time out, reflect on what is already working. There's something that is working in your life, but you're not giving it attention. One thing I found out is that as human beings, we are limited resource. You only have maximum of 24 hours. You can only be in one place per time, and you can only do so much. So you want to look at what is already producing and give it more attention. Right? This is so important. That takes me to number 8. Be liquid. This is a money map you must never ignore. You want to attract a lot of cash, you want to become prosperous, you want to become wealthy and rich, then be liquid. One of the things I found out is that the more liquid you get, the more opportunities you are going to be able to harness. One fundamental thing that will begin to happen is that not only are you going to be able to access opportunities, you're also going to be able to address emergencies. Emergencies are crisis situations that may otherwise throw you off balance. So when you are liquid, by being liquid, we mean having cash, ready cash, all right, to seize opportunities, right? I know there are people who have said time and again that savers are losers, but I beg to differ. It is savers, it is people who save as an investment that are losers. If you save for investment, you are not a loser. So preserving cash, for opportunities is a strategic thing is a money map. Saving money, being liquid is a money map that can help you facilitate your arriving at the wealthy place. And I don't want you to miss on that. Now, there are other vital tips I would love to leave you with, and I consider this to be a bonus to this course, right? As part of the money map you must uphold and embrace, take note of the following. Number 1, discover what you are good at and give it everything you got. Discover what you are good at and give it everything you got. One way to easily ascertain this is to ask yourself, what would you be doing if money were not your problem? Most things that you are really good at are things you will do even if you are not paid for it, right? This is very, very important. It is work for fishes to swim. It is work for birds to fly. But they do that whether you pay them or not. It is inborn. It is natural to them. So discover what you are good at. Number 2, identify your target market. I told you that earlier. Identify your target market. Who is your ideal customer? Who is your who is the ideal, describe your ideal buyer persona, right? What is their demographic? What's their psychography? Look at everything. What's their gender? Everything. All right. Identify your target market. So you are not putting out yourself to everybody. My mentor often says something. He says, to those you are sent, you are a miracle worker. To those you are not sent, you are a noisemaker. I found that to be very true. So you are not sent to everyone. You are not called to everyone. You must define your customer, your ideal target market. This is very, very important. Number 3, turn your gifts into a product or service. Listen to me carefully. Products and services are essentially, conveyor of value. So what people buy is not the product. It is what the product does for them. So when you turn your gift into a course, or you turn it into a product, you turn your skill into a service, that is what people pay for. They pay for what it does for them. So turn your gift into a product, turn it into a service, and then a lot of money will flow to you. Number 4, carve a niche and uniqueness for yourself. Listen, you want to maintain originality. We all learn by emulation, but at some point you have to maintain your authenticity. So carve a niche for yourself and carve a uniqueness for yourself. This is very important. Number 5 is promote and make a lot of noise. As I had mentioned earlier, you can't keep winking in the dark and expect to be noticed. So promote yourself and make a lot of noise. In this age of social media, leverage the social media to publicize yourself and target your ideal customer. This is so important. Make a lot of noise. You need to be known. You need to be known in your craft, in your area of specialization. This is so important. And number 6, market your products and services. Present your products and services. It's not enough for you to make a lot of noise. More important is for you to sell your products, sell yourself. This is so important. As you make a lot of noise and then you market and present your products and services, you make a lot of money as a result. But that's not where it ends. You don't want to keep working for money. You want money to also work for you. That brings us to the final step, final tip, which is perpetuate your income. The way to perpetuate your income is to invest the money wisely. Accumulate assets. Optimize those assets to continue to generate for you cash flow, whether you work or not. So every time you make money, make sure you perpetuate the income by ensuring money is working for you. Listen to me carefully. Money follows assets. Money follows skill, but that money requires you to be physically present to deploy the skill to keep making that money. But the beauty of asset is the fact that the asset will continue to produce for you whether you work or not. So perpetuate your income by accumulating assets, optimizing that asset, and retaining those assets. I hope this has been helpful. So till I come your way again on any other platform, please always remember, winners never quit and quitters never win. So stay inspired till you succeed. Bye for now.